Alright everyone, time to conclude this Disney adventure. Ending it here with Disney's Hollywood Studios. Yes, as I said, my hotel that I stayed at, the Disney Boardwalk, was in between both Epcot and this place, Hollywood Studios. Also known formally as Disney's MGM. So, yeah, there must have been a little bit of licensing issues with the park, I'm assuming. And, also there's been a few changes here and there, like the Great Movie Ride, which is in the Chinese Theater, which is still standing, is no longer there, and it's making way for another attraction called Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Train, which is obviously based on an animated short, which, as you know, got a remake called Get a Horse, which was shown before Frozen. It is included on the Blu-ray of the 2013 hit Oscar-winning animated film. Not to get too carried away, yes, there is other stuff coming, and there was actually the Sorcerer's Hat at the entrance, which apparently was removed in 2015 because a lot of people complained it was blocking the view of the Chinese Theater, which is like the landmark attraction for this park. They do have the shrub of the Sorcerer Mickey from Fantasia, and there used to be a big Mickey water tower, but I didn't see any such thing. I guess they removed it. But yeah, there's a lot of construction going on in this park to get that out of the way. Yes, as you know, there's a Toy Story Land opening. And yes, there is a Toy Story ride called Toy Story Mania currently operating right now. Guess I'll give my review on that one. This one was actually pretty entertaining. It's sort of like Men in Black a little bit, but it's based on Toy Story. And unlike Men in Black, which everyone faces in the same direction, we get two people on one side and two people on the other, but they both face opposite directions. You get these little shooting cannon guns, and it's cartoony. It's Toy Story. What do you expect? It's got to appeal more to the younger audiences, but people like me, we grew up with these movies, so it was definitely a lot of fun and definitely refreshing to see the characters, well, in 3D actually, yeah, because you get 3D glasses and the stuff comes in your face, and it's not just for gimmicky features, it's actually pretty cool. So you shoot mostly targets, and there's even a part with the aliens where you shoot rings over and everything, but it's really enjoyable. So you might want to fast pass this one because the waits for this go up really high, and I'm glad I did because, well, I didn't want to wait 2 hours for this one. So I know I sound like a broken record with this whole fast pass thing, but it's definitely recommended if you love this franchise. And it's in actually a place called Pixar Place. Coincidence, right? No, not really, because it is made by Pixar, this trilogy. And I still can't even believe they would make a fourth one. But otherwise, this ride is a really good time. I'd say it's really fun. And well, my final verdict is a Rockin' Wheel Motion Plus up and a Plane Weir mode up. It's really fun. So, yeah, of course, as you guessed, there's a lot of other attractions, and I did actually see, keep in mind, I did not see, and I really wanted to give a review and see the whole version of the show, the Indiana Jones Stunt Show. The scenery and everything is great when you're waiting online and you're walking around. There's even a little gift shop with some really cool stuff in it. And as you know, I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan, and it's no surprise since Disney bought out Lucasfilms. In fact, this stunt show has been around for a long time. And yeah, there's even Star Wars Land opening all around. There's a lot of Star Wars shows, gift shops and everything, which is really cool. But the big Star Wars Land, I know that's not the exact name for it, but there's even going to be a hotel nearby themed all around Star Wars. It's going to make you feel like you're in space. There's going to be, from what I've heard, an attraction that makes you feel like you're on the Millennium Falcon. It's really incredible the way they designed this. I mean, they're going the extra mile with this, but the Indiana Jones Stunt Show, I only got to see the opening scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark, where he goes in, gets past the booby traps and everything like that, and gets that, golden monkey stone thing. So, that was about it. From what I've heard, they told us there's a lot of technical problems after one delay. They told us, come back if you can within a few hours, and you can see the rest of the show. So, I sadly can't give a full review on this. I really don't want to, and I was sadly disappointed with this one. I mean, it had the music and everything. I mean, it looked really promising, but because I didn't get to see the whole thing, sorry, I'm not giving a full review on it. So, I will say see it if you can prove me wrong and say that all the other stuff, because I was looking forward to explosions and fights and all that stuff, even though it ain't real. I mean, it's a stunt show, I know that, but it would have been cool to be able to see the whole thing. So, sorry, not going to review, a butchered part of the show. So, onward to the Muppets 3D, yes. A lot of us probably know about the Muppets, and I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised with this one. It's it's a 3D part on stage performance show, but mostly 3D. And I think if you love the Muppets, you're definitely going to really like this attraction. It's got all the great humor you remember from the show. There's even a statue of Miss Piggy as the Statue of Liberty, which is a great, it just shows what kind of humor you're really expecting out of this. If you like the new movies especially, it's definitely worthwhile. It kind of reminded me of that Shrek 4D ride a little bit, but as I said, it has a little bit more on stage than that one. It's got some great effects, and yeah, it was great. It was pretty good. I definitely recommend it. Whether you're a kid or an adult that grew up with this stuff, it's definitely a great blast to the past right there. So, my final verdict, rockin' Wii Remote, Wii Motion Plus up, playing Wii Remote up. Alright, now onto the Thrill Zone. Yes, Hollywood Studios' two most major attractions. Tower of Terror. Okay, this one, wow. I'm glad I nabbed the Fast Pass at the last minute because I did not want to wait 2 hours for this one, and it was pretty good, but not grade A good. I think the hype for this one is a little over the top, but I will say the scenery and everything when you first walk in, the dark atmosphere, and I don't think it's actually fully based on a Twilight Zone episode, but it's just got that theme to it. The music, or the atmosphere, it's just great. The pre-show, when you first walk in, the lightning strikes and all that stuff, the music plays. That definitely shows how haunting this attraction can be to the mind and give you the right feel. But after I went on it, it wasn't really as scary as I thought. Yes, I have heard this attraction does operate differently every time, and it is not exactly the same as every time you go on it, but it's definitely a great thrill to it. I like when you first go up, and I didn't even know when, after you first go up that the elevator moves forward and then goes down a different shaft. I thought you go up and down the same shaft as, the whole ride. I didn't know it was like that. I do like how it opens up and, out in the open, and then you can hear the people screaming and everything like that. It's really got a great feel to it, and yes, you even get a photo on it, so not that bad, but I felt it was a little too short for my taste, but it was pretty good. I liked it. The theming and everything's great. You could always expect that out of a Disney park. So, I'd say it was pretty good, but not quite up there with the hype that everybody's been saying about this one. So, it's got a good thrill to it. So, rockin' Wii Remote, Wii Motion Plus up, and the playing Wii Remote up. It's really good, though. Alright, well, but if you want the real thrill, I'd go with Aerosmith's Rock'n' Roller Coaster. This one was pretty damn good. And this one is the only one in this park to have a single rider line. Yeah, that's the thing with single rider. Yes, this Expedition Everest at Animal Kingdom and Test Track at Epcot are the only ones that have single rider. Disney really needs to incorporate this a little bit more with more of their attractions. Unlike Universal, which has a lot more with them, yeah, that's the thing with this park. There's not many of them. And people say they save more time, but with this attraction, not necessarily. And I'm glad to see they're self-aware with it. They even put a sign on there that says it may move slower or just as slow as the regular line, because yeah, the regular line got ridiculously long. So if you want the real thrill, you should definitely fast pass this one. This one is obviously themed around Aerosmith, because after all, it is called Aerosmith's Rock'n' Roller Coaster. And yeah, that's what it's like. It's the pre-show and everything. I loved it when you first walk in. It's almost like you're going into a recording studio. You hear rockin' music being played on the queue line. And you go in and it's almost like Aerosmith's in their recording studio looking at their music and everything. And it's like they offer you backstage passes. And yes, it's a projector screen, I know, but I think you can let that pass. And then you go in and it's like you're almost in an alleyway with, like, fences and dim lighting. And the vehicle designs are like limousines. Yes, this does go upside down 3 times to be exact. Yep, count them, 3 inversions. And it's inside, so you can't see what it's like until you actually get on the ride. It's not completely pitch black, but yes, it does have a launch at the beginning. You go 0 to about 60 miles an hour within like 2 seconds. So, yeah, you better hold on for dear life. And yes, this does actually have storage for your stuff in a little knap bag thing in front of your seat, but I would be cautious with whatever you have, depending on what kind of stuff you have, especially if it's breakable. Like, it's good probably to put your hats or bags or something in, but to a certain size. And yes, you do get a photo on this, but the overall ride experience is great. It's so thrilling. I mean, you're going from 0 to 60, and you're holding on for dear life. I mean, it's just awesome. The strobe effects, you can actually see the track, unlike Space Mountain or something like that. and just the overall like theme to it, and the music being played by Aerosmith, and it's always something different too as well. So that's what's cool about it. I love how they program these rides at Disney. The attention to detailing is just phenomenal. I mean, it just does a great job. This is probably the most thrilling coaster of all Disney parks that I recall. It's even more fast and thrilling than Expedition Everest, but not to insult that ride. I do like this one, but this one is phenomenal. I mean, it's a rockin' good time. It's definitely worthy of a rockin' two-wheel remote. The V-Motion Plus is up. I guess you could just say I'm a fan of this kind of music, and that's really just up my alley right there. So. Yep. So that about concludes the adventure right there. I know I fell a little bit short with the attractions, but as I said, this park is under a lot of renovations, and I didn't do every single attraction as I said before, but I had a great time. I did this coaster not once but twice. I guess you could just say I'm a coaster buff for the most part, but yep, it was a great time. Till next time, that concludes the Disney Adventure. Thanks for watching.